What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 15 of my Total War Warhammer 3 Man-Eaters Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we completed the quest for the Bugman's Brew at last. It did take quite the while to do the quest, but I really wanted to do it with the Man-Eaters, and which we did, and well-wrecked face as expected. Damn, look at all those melee attack stats on these guys. Looking pretty good. Still need the extra armor on the various Ogre pistols, but well, we just captured more iron, and the more iron we have, the more armor we have all over the place, so we're getting there. Quest is nearly complete by the looks of it, or the current bounty or mercenary contract is nearly complete, so we'll be ready to move elsewhere, and next on the menu will be Scrag. Hello, what is this? Demon Flask of Ashok. Causes a vortex. Interesting. I do like that melee attack minus 16 thing on him. Huh, and it's for attacking Grimgor's Ardboys. It's kind of funny. Probably won't do that. Although teleporting to Grimgor does tempt me, and we could complete... See, the thing is we can't... if only we could complete this right now. I'm just gonna hope that Zatan will still have that contract available, because he's gonna die probably within the next couple of turns. We'll see, because this would be ideal, because we were looking to declare war on Grimgor within, like, the next turn or so. But anyway, in the meantime, let's see what we gotta do this turn, shall we? I believe, yes, Brawler gets Mr. Paychest Gold Eater. Now I wasn't originally planning to attack Prince Sigvald, but he's right there, and he's in March stance, and here's the thing. He doesn't like us very much. Minus 124, I really didn't expect him to dislike the fact that we're attacking the Legion of the Gore Queen, because SLAANESH and KHORNE, not very happy with each other, generally speaking. So... there's a very strong likelihood that Sigvald will attack us, and obviously I haven't been building any defenses on any of our territories anywhere, so every single settlement will just fall with a quick little auto-resolve against basically any AI army. So the only real defense we have is crazy offense, so that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna attack him here in a second. I do, however, want to see who else needs to move. Winter Army.
Yours is a short...
Alethanar, you're dead, aren't you? He's pretty dead. You know what? Let's kill Alethanar as well. Just because he's here. Let us ask... do we actually want to talk to any of these guys? No. We're going to be out here for a while, so Brawler gets go for Black Creek Spire. Declare war. We're going to knock these guys out, mostly because we'll use their territory as a base. And there's a little army right there. We'll see if Aleth comes back before his faction is destroyed. Occupy. Also because we can't reach Valkia with this army right away, and a Scroll of Leeching, which I'm not a big fan of, so we'll just ignore that for now. Plus, this place has ports, which means more money, and between all the territory that we're getting and all the trade that we're getting, this is what's enabling us to recruit all these armies, considering that in vanilla with the supply lines, we have 50,000 gold army upkeep, which is pretty crazy. Anyway, let's see who else needs to move here. Recruiter is recruiting. Anybody else? Magic Feast of Smash Gooda. You're still kind of keeping an eye on Grimgor. You know what? Go right beside Kirak Varag, I guess. Go here. I mean, it would mean not raiding for the turn, but I'm just gonna assume that's not a big deal. We really want to be able to knock out Grimgor's main stag before he does anything, as soon as we declare war on him. Magic Feast of Targog. Ooh, you've got to fight yourself, buddy. Alright, let's start with this one, because this army hasn't had as much chances to play around as the other armies have. So let's go for Walker Gorax first. I wonder if he can run far enough away. I guess we're about to find out. Go. Alright, there we go. I think that's everything. Go.
Only cleaving, meat and death.
Did you say no speeches? Because that was kind of a speech, but anyway. Anyway, here we go. Ooh, watch that harpoon fly and hit this one poor guy. I guess it's a bit of a waste to use the harpoons on those, but, well, the battle just started that way. Anyway, gonna have some more fun with this army. It is just starting to get going after all, and a couple of nice hits into those Chaos Warriors from our Thunder Tusks, who I've been pretty impressed with so far. They're a very, very good unit, aren't they? The chilling aura, the range damage, the melee damage, the, well, just everything about them. Tanky, solid, supporty, artillery, very good. Anyway, we are going to allow the enemy to hit our main line of big boys, as we usually do, before we send in the Saber Tusks that make up our main line. They're not the only Saber Tusks, however, as on the two flanks we deployed a single Stonehorn, the non-range Stonehorn that wouldn't be firing anyway. Together with the other Saber Tusks, they have overrun and destroyed the first unit of the enemy horsemen, and they are doing the same thing over on the right flank as well. Does look like some trolls want to deal, but by keeping one of these Stonehorns with the units of Saber Tusks there, the Stonehorn can take charges from big boys like that. And if, for example, we were to face off against Chaos Knights and stuff like that, we'd send the Stonehorn in first and then the Saber Tusks later. Obviously, Saber Tusks aren't really meant to be used in the way that we're using them, in the sense that they're not supposed to be the core of an army, well, it's the nature of screwing around with armies like this. Gotta make sure that we can use them that way. And thus, we need these living battering rams, which are now holding out the Chaos Spawn, the Trolls, and just mountains of Chaos Warriors and Forsaken and whatnot. Ooh, looks like a Blood Speaker moves in and uses that Murderous Exhortations on us, which perhaps does some decent damage to those Saber Tusks. So we're gonna back them off for a little while and leave only the summoned ones there to be destroyed. Gotta remember that every single hunter in this army is another unit that's a Stonehorn and another summonable Saber Tusk, so. And just more of the types of units that we're using here. And by the looks of the enemy's center line is broken, but more units are moving in. There's a unit of Skull Reapers out there and another unit of Forsaken as well. Blood Speaker is, I keep missing his HP, is down to about 20% HP. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll be down to just nothing very, very shortly. I wonder if the Ogres get upset about all these Saber Tusks sort of just like stomping and crushing a lot of things. Hard to eat when they need to not just tenderize, but just explode a tiny little gobbets of meat. Can't take a big bite, and that's a problem, as far as I'm concerned. And damn, I didn't realize how big the Howdah was on the Saber Tusks. Huh. Is the purpose of this, it looks to be a counterweight, right? Like, why would there be rocks attached to it otherwise? Counterweight on the Howdah, perhaps? Something to do with the way that the Saber Tusk moves? Maybe that helps it out, considering the big old, well, tusk, or Saber Tusk, Thunder Tusk. Big old tusks on the front, or the just general size of the Howdah. Interesting to see, though. Either way, we are at 90% balance of power in our favor. The Skull Reapers have moved in, but immediately as they do, they get charged by Stonehorns, and then our Butcher will lead or our Slaughtermaster will lead the Saber Tusks into them as well. I keep confusing Thunder Tusks and Saber Tusks. Because these are like saber-toothed tigers, alright? So that's the best way to, easiest way to remember them. And yet, I still failed to do so. But anyway. That poor Skull Reaper just got hit with a harpoon, and I believe he was the last casualty. I mean, the rest of them will, of course, be run down, but the last casualty in the sense that the battle is now ours. Very nice. Took a little bit of damage on some of our kitties, but that's all okay, and we do have global recruitment available should they die, with Saber Tusks available at 1 turn, so we're not so worried about their losses if it comes down to it. Lovely. Alright, solid work for the Magic Feaster here. Well, he's still relatively useless in this army in the sense that he doesn't have healing, which we really need for the Stonehorns, but, well, we're getting there. Stonehorns did plenty of damage as usual, the Thunder Tusks out-damaging the Stonehorns, but that's hardly surprising. And I do like using the non-range Stonehorns to lead the packs of the Saber Tusks that are hitting the enemies on the flanks. Works out reasonably well, in my opinion. Anyway, we are going to take the money, I guess, because we can't really heal up with what we got there. We're also presumably going to have to chase this army down, or what remains of it, and then suffer attrition while we do. Or well, it's just 2 doggos. We can just ignore them and head into... Hey, you know what, just ignore them. Not a big enough deal, I think. There we go, at least this way we can heal to full. Enemy killed in battle, enemy killed in battle. You've also leveled up, and we were getting you Beasts of the Mountains, but you know what? I think it's time instead to get you spells. Let's get you Bullgorger. I mean, obviously he has the basic Bullgorger and Brain Gobbler variants that he starts with. But we'll want to get Blood Gruel ASAP for the little bit of healing, as well as head to Troll Guts as fast as possible, because that's the main thing here. He hasn't had a lot of mana up until now, but now it seems like he's getting a nice charge up, so yeah. Anyway, let's see what else we need to do. Actually, we don't have a lot of time. Unfortunately, we did not reach the engagement threshold this particular, well, last episode, so this is going to be a shorter episode. Normal thing. Campaigns get old, people start to lose interest, etc., etc., etc. It's the fate of all campaigns, though at different rates. Archaon still holds the record. Anyway, for now, since there's nothing else to do, we're going to jump in and declare war on these guys, just because we can. Declare war? Yes. Huh, Aggle refused to join them. Craig still joined them, funnily enough. I would have actually, funnily enough, liked to have left a lot of this territory to the Crag and killed the Agghole, but, well, whatever. Not a big deal. Mr. Paychest. Let's make sure they pay with their lives. And their meat. SLAANESH giggle. Anyway, somebody won't be giggling soon, Siggy. It's your time to not shine. Go.
There's gold in this for us! If we kill that lot properly first!
There's gold in them there chaos wastes. Here we go. Hopefully Paychest will get what he wants. Or else he'll eat gold. If he doesn't get enough gold, he'll eat more gold, just to sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Just watching all the daggers fly at the Seeker chariots. And just to encourage his company is what I was going to say. Anyway, Seeker Chariots will charge on in right to those Nobblers, but they do get ripped apart very quickly. The storm of daggers from the Nobbler Trappers is always entertaining to watch. I remember last time I played Ogres, I also really like to use the Nobbler Trappers. They're just so fun. The spinning dagger spam is just so much more entertaining to watch than arrow spam, in my opinion, especially because they're a lot more sort of irregularly thrown. Not just the fact that they spin while being thrown, but also by the fact that they sort of seem to have more inaccuracy, which is kind of good in this particular sense, rather than the arrows, which sort of tend to cluster together more. Obviously it does depend on the unit and their individual accuracy. Anyway, here we go. This big old blob of Forsaken heading towards us will pop a flame storm in their way, and then in their wake for more units to move into. We do have a big old defensive sort of impassable terrain here, a giant rock or mountain or whatever, and we'll use this as a wall while allowing the rest of the enemy to hit our main line. The wrong thing. The scrap launchers are continuing to provide support. Should see their projectiles arcing over on occasion. Just gotta be careful about them hitting our own Nobblers, which they would be very much a threat to. And here we go. Looks like Sigvald has arrived, and we send the Bruiser, one of the 2 units of Firebellies, and 2 Giants to deal with him. He is on foot. His defenses are Well, let's see. 55 melee defense went down due to Headhunt. Headhunt is really helpful. We allowed Headhunt to sort of let us easily slay Wolfric like 5 times, so that works quite nice. Ooh, nice shot from those scrap launchers, arcing just over the heads of the giants as they continue beating down on Sigvald. Huh. How did that giant just send all of those demonettes flying? It looked like he just screamed at them. That was interesting. Or maybe I didn't notice the sort of stomp instead. Either way, Siggy's having a pretty bad day. He's down about 20% of his HP, and the bounce power's at about 80% in our favor already. That said, the enemy did loop several units around the terrain and is now hitting our back lines with Chaos Trolls and Chaos Warhounds. We were prepared for it, having left some of our Nobblers, our Pigback Riders there, together with one giant to anchor the line, and hopefully they'll be able to beat down those Trolls and Chaos Spawn and whatnot. In the meantime, Siggy is melting away with no HP remaining and desperately attempting to hold off those ugly giants, but alas, it's not going to be enough, and the giant will send him flying and to his doom. Sliver Slash will drop, and his demonettes will, I'm sure, shortly begin melting away. And once again, every lord we defeat, every legendary lord we defeat with the Nobbler army, just, I don't know, it just tickles me. All of these super arrogant warriors that are losing to basically the lowest of the low, or the second lowest of the low. I'd say society-wise, it's Skaven slaves and then probably Nobblers and Bretonnian peasants. That's an interesting comparison. Who has a better life, Bretonnian peasant or a Nobbler? I mean, the Ogres don't like eating the Nobblers, but they still will when they get hungry, and and they don't have much of a society, but I suppose the same thing can be said. I mean, the Nobblers themselves don't have much of a society as compared to the Goblins, who they keep saying that they're not. But the goblins, the night goblins, there's a lot more like sort of culture stuff that we know about them, especially if you've read the Skarsnik novel, and just generally speaking, especially as there are tribes of them doing stuff on their own. Are there tribes of Nobblers that live without ogres? I'm gonna read up on that a little bit more. I'm not super, not super up on the Nobbler lore in particular. Gotta read up on them a little bit more. But anyway, Sigvald won't be doing any more reading because he's done for. Or at the very least, his main army is destroyed. We'll see if he comes back by the time we destroy his faction. And hopefully he doesn't have a bunch of hidden armies that will immediately attack our poorly defended Norscan territories. Alright, there we go, another victory for Mr. Pigchest, and with relatively minimal losses at only 65 Nobblers lost for Sigvald's main stag. Granted, it wasn't much of a stag, but he did have his aspiring champions and Siggy himself, though it looks like he just couldn't handle the beatdown from the giants. Really any more than he could handle the beatdown from Throg in a certain setting. Anyway, eat captives, yeah, we're gonna probably have to auto-resolve this little settlement if we can reach it, which we just barely can. Lovely. And nothing, because there's nobody in there. Alright, occupied just to heal up. But we will obviously not stay here. Might not even keep this territory, though I guess there's the folly of Malefax. Once again, I just don't really want to deal with the yellow territories. We could also give them to a Malice Darkblade. Fortunately, this is all frozen, so this still works for us, even if the Chaos Wastes do not. Maybe it wasn't the right move to kill off the Naggar High Elves, because we could have given them... Well, actually, not really. Gotta give somebody the Chaos Waste territories. Or we just burn it down. Anyway, Pride Assassin, Gold Eater gets physical resistance and post-battle chance of stealing a magic item. Well, if anybody's gonna be looting things, it's probably Mr. Paychest, so yeah. He's hungry for gems and gold and whatnot. Anyway, I do believe that's the only thing that we had to do left to this turn, unless I'm mistaken. Who's Crud? You are a Butcher of Death. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. I believe now we're good. So skip, building upgrade available, no. Damage building, no. End turn. I'll hopefully be able to deal with the building between the episodes and all that. Really gotta finish up this Cathan contract. It was worth the retrofit, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to be stuck here too long either. Alright, Malika, you on military access. Sure, I mean, he's gonna give us 4K for something that we don't care about. Why not? We're already allied with him and he's holding our northern territories for us, essentially, and is a nice trading partner. And we gotta keep that trade flowing for more armies and army types. Technology research campaign movement range, now researching tribal gathering. Mission aborted. Oh, damn, Malachi. You're really moving southward. I guess he's probably gonna be friendly with Karakadra. No, Karakadra, huh? Wait. So... Ungrim doesn't like the fact that Malachi has a treaty with us. But he himself is moving to 66? What the heck? Eh, whatever. I guess it's based on the fact that it's -5, but it's moving in. Oh, what the heck is this? Oh no, there's a little army moving up to the challenge zone. Where's Grimgar? He's in march stance right beside us. He does, there is this stack, that's a problem. But if we take out Grimgor real quick... Oh, but I wanted to do that via contract. Do we even still have Zatan's contract? We don't. Unfortunately. Funnily enough, Grimgor is willing to give us a quick contract to knock Zatan out, but I'm gonna have to think about this. And he has that one territory remaining. This would have been the perfect time to give us a contract, but anyway. Golgi, let's start with you. You can move this way, or you can move this way. It doesn't really matter. Alright, just go. If we grab Kunlun or something and trade it, or Shingpo or whatever, it should be worth enough to allow us to take the contract, or to accept the contract to, you know, deal with it. Anyway, that's Golgi. HS. And, huh. Alright, you know what, I see, ooh, that's a better army than Sigvald. They've got Chaos Knights, lots of Chaos, with lots of Seeker Chariots. That'll be a lot more threatening to these guys. I think we'll save this for a next episode, though, because we probably won't have time for more than one more battle this one. I also see Valkia's running around and is also in range. Ooh, Winter Army. I'm gonna say we gotta go with this one. That's just, it's just too good to pass up. Go for Valkia. She can't run, she's in march stance, and ow. Huh. Actually, her army's kinda meh. I was hoping that that would be stronger. But nonetheless, she does have Valkia herself, an Exalted Hero, and Harald Hammer Smash, and Scar Bloodwrath, all in one force. And this army does struggle a little bit against single entities, which is probably why we have a Pyrrhic victory here. So I think it'll be worth the fight, or at least I imagine it will be. I don't even know how we'll be able to bring down Valkia, because look at those frickin' stats. Those are Skull Taker level stats, and she doesn't even have that the ability to gather traits in the same way that he does. And yeah, the other heroes are no slouches either. Maybe this was a bad idea, but we're going.
For the chop house. Represent no threat to us.
Alrighty, here we go. This is going to be dangerous, and KHORNE has got to approve this guy, this Exalted Hero who is just charging on in to this. That's, well, that's pretty brave of him. See all those stone horns and saber tusks coming at you after all. Or maybe it's just me and my PTSD after the Boris Ursus campaign and having to deal with just dozens upon dozens of these frickin' things. Anyway, we are going to deploy deploy in a particular manner here. Obviously, while we can handle the enemy army, though they do have a lot of anti-large, a lot of Chaos Warriors with halberds, the heroes are going to be the problem. So we've deployed our entire main line over on the left flank and are going to hit the enemy from one side. There's two reasons behind this. One is that there's Exalted Hero was by himself, Valkia and Herald and Scar Bloodwrath are all over here, and will thus have to take time to get to us, and hopefully we can destroy the Exalted Hero before they do, and maybe we'll be able to dish out decent damage to the rest of these forces. And the other thing is we have our units of Gorgers all hidden in stock over here, so we're going to wait for the rest of the enemy army to move in down here into the water, and then hit them with our Gorgers in the back line. Plus they have to sort of loop around a little bit of a cliff. Finally, because this is all watery terrain, it'll slow the enemy down further, and between the water, the chilling aura, and the fact that their movement speed is generally going to be terrible compared to ours, should our units take a heavy amount of damage, especially whilst fighting the enemy heroes, we should be able to escape any individual units that do suffer sufficiently. That's the idea anyway. Definitely a little bit of a different sort of battle in the sense of how we deploy as compared to the other battles that this army has fought, but you know, it's a good sign, generally. The more you have to think about the deployment, the more likely it is to be a pretty fun fight. Looks like we see some Yetis going down. Harry the Hammer has arrived and is facing off against the Regiment of Renown of Yetis, and ooh, a nice hit from that hammer. And we're going to send the Saber-Tusked and the Stonehorn of Morn to bail him out. The enemy Exalted Hero is dead, and now we turn to Valkia, who's managed to knock down a few Yetis, and it looks like this unit is down to half HP and 11 of their units. Oh, I like the sort of fog effect that we got going now. Very nice. I guess that's either the chilling aura or frostbite. I don't know, but it doesn't look too bad, unlike a lot of other unnecessary effects. Alrighty, and finally, at last, the Gorgers are moving. I think I may have waited a little bit too late, as a lot of our Yetis have taken a lot of damage. They're all at about half HP for the Gorgers to move in, but you know, live and learn for those that live in. But the anvil has held, and it's time for the hammer to do work. There we go, and the Gorgers started ripping through the back lines of the enemy Chaos Warriors very, very rapidly. And yes, I remember, we're still gonna get scrag, guys, don't worry. Alright, out here, I do believe this is Harry the Hammer that's completely surrounded. He's lost about 40% of his HP. Scar is in trouble as well, and Valkia is down to about 30% of hers, and Scar down to about 25%. We're by and large even ignoring the rest of their armies at this point and just trying to commit all of the big old monsters to try to fight the heroes. I guess the biggest problem here is that the said heroes are relatively small models, so it's kind of difficult to spot them within the big old line. Alright, how's Valkia doing? Down to about 20%, maybe even 15% of her HP, though once again she is dishing out the damage. She has been dueling this hunter whilst in the middle of our entire formation getting attacked by multiple enemies, and has brought said hunter down to about 30% of his HP, and we currently have no easy way of healing him. Alright, and she's going to activate her Demon Shield. But a little bit too late, I believe, as she will melt away, get a couple more Yetis rather killed before she at last goes down. That was very much not on cue. And there we go, but as we know, KHORNE will bring her back. And yeah, look at that. She almost killed this hunter while in the middle of all this. Scar Bloodwrath is sort of drowned in the tide of Yetis, and only Harry the Hammer will be left. Harry is unbreakable, unlike all the other units in this army, so we're going to have to actually destroy him. And pretty much any time Harry is in an army, he's always the last to fall, so that's hardly surprising. Too bad the regular, too bad the mono god chaos factions can't get Harry and stuff, because Harry's look feels like he should be fighting side by side with Arbol. So that classic Chaos Warrior look with the red armor. Alright, he's still in there and down to 10% HP, but let's be honest, we're probably not going to see his death animation because I can't really spot him as his model is too tiny. So we're just going to let him go, though. Yep. Somebody, guys, surround him. Somebody get him, please. He's reached his healing cap a long time ago, and there we go. At last, Harry goes down, and the battle is ours, though it did take a bit of effort. I think we suffered more damage fighting that little army because of the hero's abilities to knock out single entities, than we did against full stacks with generally better units, just not better lords and heroes. Alright, very nice though, as we saw 13k damage on Valkia, 80 kills by the looks of it, and just generally speaking, very tough to bring down, though the same thing is really said of all of the heroes, and because of the fact that they brought halberdiers in fairly decent numbers, in fact they have no dual weapons, only halberds, then because of that we had a little bit of a tougher time. Not the kind of army that this army was essentially built to fight, but it does make it interesting when we do. We are going to once again not get any replenishment, which means once again we're going to take the money, get that Valkia defeat trait, and we will suffer attrition here, won't we? We can't set a camp down still. 4 out of... Wait, what do you mean 4 out of 3? Huh? Weren't we 5 out of 4? Why are we 4 out of 3 now? What? Or were we 5 out of... Maybe we were 5 out of 3. Either way, we can't set a camp down, unfortunately. Just gotta wait for that tech to come along so that we can... get it up and running. How many turns? 7 turns. That'll allow us to place camps once more, not have to deal with this sort of thing. But for now, we got a deal. I assume you can't... Oh, actually... You can still leave the attrition area, so it doesn't really matter over much, but, yeah, well done. Alright, anybody else need to move this turn? I assume that you do. Oh, right, Brawler Guts, we're gonna save your fight. Yeah, we're gonna save your fight. Recruiter Gagbat the Carver. I find his name very funny.
Tyrant of the tribe.
And what do we have here? Firebelly is not to the... Ooh, we got another flabby bruiser, which is solid. Probably gonna pop that into an army. Any more of these guys with the trait we want? Although, you know, I've been kind of rethinking maybe that we... in order to differentiate the hero army from Scrag's eventual soon army, maybe we want to limit the amount of different butchers we put in it. I was going to put one of each butcher for all the lords, but we could do that for Scrag. Give him, since he's the butcher leader, give him 4 butchers, 1 with every lore, and then just keep like 2 butchers in this army, in the hero army, just with the Maw lore, and maybe, in addition to that, we can actually put some hunters in it, and somebody suggested we can use them to stalk and vanguard deploy. Always going to be artillery and range stuff to deal with, so there's potential for that. Either way, folks, unfortunately, as this is a shorter episode, we are out of time, and I'm going to have to call the episode here. I will do some of the admin between the episodes, or at least most of the admin, so then we'll get back, start the episode off with attacking Wulrich Kilgore with Brawler Guts, Paychest, etc., and look to knock out the Decadent Host before they can strike back. They don't have a lot of territory, fortunately, just these 3 locations, and they're all in range, though their Norscan minions may prove to be something of an issue. I guess we'll have to see. Once again, I think that you have to essentially choose a Grand Alliance if you want to trade, because either you trade with Chaos or you trade and Orcs and whatnot, or you trade with the Empire and Bretonnia and all that. Cathay can sometimes go either way, but not in this particular situation. Anyway, more Ogres to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. Who knows, we may still be able to reach the engagement threshold next time. It remains at, I forgot what it was at this point, 250 likes and something comments. Crutch Craven Tail, eh? We really have to go after Morgan, so we could peace out with Trudge. You know, I'll think about this. I'll think about this next time. Just gotta figure out how to deal with this army, and which we'll do next time. So, all glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.